Hey folks, Eric here from DirtyOldSneakers.com, and I've been using the Garmin Fenix 7X Solar Sapphire, what a mouthful, for about 2 weeks, and I have some initial thoughts. First, you need to know that I did purchase this for myself, no discount, no nothing from Garmin, so all the opinions you're going to hear are mine and mine alone. No one's going to see this footage. Before I post it, essentially, you could be the very first person to see this video. I mean, probably not, because my wife watches sometimes while I edit, so she'll probably see some of it, but you could be the first one seeing the whole thing posted on YouTube. You should know that I've been a Garmin fan since I started running about 15 years ago, and I've owned almost every iteration of the Forerunner series. When the Fenix 5 came out, I switched to the Fenix watches because I wanted the longer battery life and I could use it for more sports. So I went through the 5 and the 5X and was disappointed at the girth of the watch and how little the screen was, like we all did. When the 6 came out, we all rejoiced at the bigger screen and the introduction of solar charging. Well, solar assist anyway. And then the pandemic hit. And we waited and we waited and we waited for the 7 to come out. And we waited some more. And we put our masks on, we took our masks off, we put our masks on, and then we took them off, and then the 7 came out. And when it did, we rejoiced in some nice new features like the touchscreen, the cool flashlight that doubles as a night running safety mechanism, and the feature I've been clamoring for the past, 5 years, what Garmin is fancily calling real-time sync settings. A term that means you can essentially set up the data points and the number of screens that you want for a given activity in the app, rather than fumbling around with a bunch of buttons on your watch. But I think they could have done some things differently. I'm not going to tell you what I think should be on it. That's going to be another video, but I'm going to tell you what I don't like about what's on it now. First, the stamina feature. Now, if you saw my Epix 2 review, which you can see over here, by the way, you know that my question about this is essentially why. What is it? Simply put, stamina tracking is available for running and cycling activities and uses heart rate and VO2 max to determine how much gas you have left in the tank. You can view a data screen that will either show you the amount of time that you have left at the current exertion level or the distance that you can still cover at that level. I have one question for you. Why? Let's pull back for a second and look at this from a reality standpoint, not from a, wow, this is a cool feature that I'm excited to see on a watch standpoint. I'm an everyday runner. Look at me. My marathon PR is only 3:44:06. I'm very proud of that, but I know that there's a lot of folks out there that run a lot faster than me. But I tell you this to tell you that I like to train. I sometimes like to do running workouts. I love to ride my bike. I love to swim, but I don't like to do them all together. And I would like to one day beat my marathon PR. However, for me, running is still a mental game. I need to do everything I can during a speed workout to turn off the negativity that tells me that I can just stop the insanity and go back home and sit on the couch eating bonbons or that pint of ice cream that is definitely sitting in my freezer right now. I don't need my watch, which is using an algorithm developed for the broadest section of humankind to tell me if I have any gas left in the tank. It's not going to help my mental state. I don't see, at least today from where I sit, how this is going to be helpful. I feel like professional runners aren't glancing down at their wrists towards the end of a marathon to see if they're able to surge for the win. I'll tell you a story about the Boston Marathon. I ran the Boston Marathon in 2012. It was the year that it was, I think when I started, it was 90 degrees and humid. And they were, for the first time ever, offering a deferment for runners. Now, I was a charity runner because I haven't yet been able to qualify for the race. So they were actually suggesting that all charity runners not run the race. So I was like, I'm totally ready to do this. I'm going to be fine. And on the course, I swear to God, I can't find any pictures of it anywhere. This is before I was recording races. On the course, there were these huge lighted signs that say, it's okay to walk. Don't worry about your time. If you get too hot, please, I was like, this is not what I need at mile 18, especially when I'm running up hills in Newton. Anyway, I love that story. Second, and I know this is cosmetic, but check this out. I've been using the ActiveFace watch face since I bought my first Fenix 5. I love the colors, the info at a glance, and I think it just looks cool. I also love how you can put the date in for your next big race, and it gives you a countdown. Essentially how customizable it is. But look what happens when I go to change the settings in Connect Mobile. Okay, tells me to go to the watch. I'll do it on the watch. Garmin, this is a glitch that should have been taken care of long before this came to market. There is a workaround. You can do it on Garmin Express, but again, simple glitch that could be fixed. Then there's the notch. Seriously, if you're going to add a ring around the display that's sole purpose is to grab as much sunlight as possible, why block part of it with branding? Is it for the social posts? With the pictures? They can see it's a Garmin? I don't know. And there's a touchscreen. While it's hailed as a much-needed feature by a lot of reviewers, I just don't understand it. I much prefer buttons, but okay, you want to use a touchscreen, that's totally cool. Let me tell you a story. The first week I had the watch, which was last week, I was on vacation. I know, poor me, but hear me out. I spent a lot of time in the pool with my son, and every once in a while, I would look down at my watch, as one does, to find out it was time to go to lunch, it was time to go back to the room, it was time to whatever, apply more sunscreen, and I'd see something that looked like this. And no screen touching nor button pushing could make it stop. I mean, obviously it eventually did, but I found that turning off the touchscreen kept the watch from accidentally opening up the screen that manipulates the activities and apps. So that's it. I'm going to do a full review of the watch in the coming weeks, but I wanted to get my initial thoughts out there. And if you want the Fenix 5, and if you want the Fenix 7X Solar Sapphire for yourself, or really any iteration of the Fenix 7, links below. Just know that they go to my Amazon associate account, so I will make a couple shekels off of each of the sales, but at no charge to you. If you like gear reviews, race reviews, or anything endurance sports related, I'm your guy. Please hit subscribe and the bell next to it so you get notified when I put new videos up just about every week or so. Thanks so much for tuning in, folks, and I'll see you soon.